Here at Clean My Space, I like to help you make small incremental changes to your life that can really make a big difference. And that is why I want to talk about produce today and washing produce and the dirty dozen and some other buzzwords you might have heard like pesticides or wax coatings. So let's debunk some myths. Let's go through the importance of washing your fruits and veg, how to wash your fruits and veg, and which ones are the most important to wash per the EWG's Dirty Dozen list. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to the Clean My Space channel, give this video a thumbs up if you find videos like this helpful, and a quick reminder to stick around until the end of this video where I'm gonna tell you all about our newly launched Clean My Space memberships program. You can also learn more about it in the description box below. The EWG is the Environmental Working Group, and every year they collect samples from the most popular fruits and vegetables. This year they did a sample of 46 of the most popular fruit and veg, and what they are looking for is pesticide content. Now, pesticides are important because they allow fruits and veggies to grow, but at the same time, they are not good for us to consume, which is why this list, the Dirty Dozen list, informs us as consumers as to which fruits and vegetables we should really be focusing on washing well to get rid of that high pesticide content. And a couple of tips before we get into it. First, you never want to wash your produce in hot water. That's because you don't want to boil your fruits and vegetables, but also hot water allows for bacteria to grow and thrive and survive and prosper. Secondly, you want to wash your fruits and veg just before you're ready to eat them. If you wash them and put them in your fridge until you're ready to use them, not only can that allow for bacteria to grow, but it can also speed up the ripening and aging process of your produce, which you do not want. So we're gonna work our way up the Dirty Dozen list, and I'm gonna make you wait on the edge of your seat to see what the dirtiest produce item is of 2024. 12 out of 12 is the humble green bean. Now, this is not too complicated to clean. What you wanna do is add your green beans to a colander. You're gonna run them under cold water. I like to use my hand to kind of shake it around to get that manual scrubbing action just to knock anything off. Then what you'll do is pick up a handful of green beans at a time and run them under cold water again. What this does is allow anything that is stuck at the bottom of the colander to stay there. Once that's done, you're gonna move your chunk of green beans over to a towel where you can dry them. I always use my Maker's Clean waffle weave towel. That's because they are so large and so absorbent. One of the many uses for this towel. Once that's done and your beans are dry, then you can cook, saute, stir fry, and enjoy. Clocking in at number 11, and I was surprised about this, blueberries. Because I thought blueberries would be way higher up on the list. And when you look at the blueberry, they generally have like a white kind of dusty coating on them, pesticides. So the easiest way to do this is to get a bowl, fill it with cold water, and to it you're gonna add about a tablespoon of baking soda. And what you're gonna do is kind of shake the berries around in the mixture of water. This is gonna help scrub off that white coating, and then you can just let it settle. You wanna let it settle for about 10 minutes. You wanna rinse it a couple of times as well because baking soda is a very, very fine powder and will leave residue behind. And as fabulous as baking soda is, it does have a rather salty finish. So we wanna get rid of all the baking soda before we consume our lovely blueberries. And right at number 10, we have cherries, but we actually don't have cherries because they're not in season yet. So we're just gonna have to use our imaginations here. Cherries are really easy to clean. They're quite similar to blueberries. What you're gonna do is just take a bowl, fill it with 4 parts water and 1 part white vinegar. Now, I hear you vinegar haters out there, and I want you not to worry. The vinegar soak really helps break down any of those pesticides and get off any of that waxy coating. And you do not have to worry about the cherries picking up any vinegar smell or vinegar flavor. Now, if you are utterly opposed to using vinegar, you can use the same method we used for blueberries with the baking soda instead. But you know what? Use vinegar. That's what's advisable. So you're gonna let it soak for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then you're gonna rinse really, really well, again, by scooping the cherries out, running them under water, placing them in a towel, drying them, and consuming ASAP. At number 9, we've got bell peppers and hot peppers. So in honor of number 9, we have jalapenos, jalapenos, and a multitude of colored peppers. Now, for the record, I hate peppers, so these would hardly ever make it into my house, but I do like a good spicy margarita every now and then. Now, when you pick up a pepper, you'll notice that they feel a little bit waxy, and that's because they are sprayed with a number of coatings that not only protect them during the transportation process, but of course also contain pesticides. So the best way to physically remove those coatings is to use a veggie or a produce scrub brush. You don't need anything more than water, and you just want to work gently, scrubbing under cold water, drying, and then cutting up and enjoying. Well, if you're someone that enjoys peppers, they're disgusting. Let me know in the comments below what you think about peppers. At number 8, that thing that keeps the doctor away, your apples. And it doesn't matter what kind of apples, it just matters that it's an apple. So what you want to do is create a rinse with equal parts water and vinegar. You just want to kind of wash the apple using your hand, and then you want to get out a produce scrub brush and scrub. Now, this is news to me. I've never cleaned my apples this way before. I've just given them a pathetic cursory rinse under the sink and gone to town. But I always notice that apples have like a, waxy coating on them too. And again, that is something that is used during the transportation process. It is pesticides, etc. Who knows? Question mark, FDA. Conspiracy theories, let's not even go there. So vinegar, water, scrub brush, that's my new thing, and I hope you do it too. We've got nectarines at number 7, pears at number 6, and peaches at number 5. So you want to use, again, that same vinegar rinse. You can do equal parts white vinegar and water, and you can just manually kind of scrub the fruit while you are holding it. So you might actually want to set up a bowl instead of running it under water. This is also a great resource saving tip, so you're not running the water the whole time. For pears, if they're the smooth skinned pears, you can use a scrub brush. Clearly not recommended for something soft skinned like a peach or a nectarine. But the thing you do want to keep in mind is that your peach that has fuzzy skin, that is particularly good at clinging onto bacteria as well as pesticides. So when you are drying these after you've done the water vinegar wash, you've then washed them under cold water just to get rid of any of the excess, you want to use your dish towel or your drying towel to kind of manually scrub off anything extra. You don't want to do this aggressively, so you're crushing the fruit. You just want to do it enough so that you can get rid of any of the extra moisture and, of course, just do a light scrub. At number 4, we have the delicious grape, and I was informed these are cotton candy grapes. Have you tried them? Please let me know if you tried one in the comments below. They are delightful and expensive, so I'm spoiling you today. Now, if you look at a grape, it looks very similar to the way a blueberry looks when it comes out of the grocery store. It's kind of got that white coating on it, and you're always like, what is that? Should I be eating that? No, you really shouldn't be eating that. So what you want to do is create the baking soda bath that we did for the blueberries. You're going to fill a bowl with just enough water to cover your grapes, and this is only the amount of grapes that you're consuming at that time. You don't want to wash all your grapes in advance. Again, gives your grapes an opportunity to grow bacteria, and it speeds up the aging process of your fruit, so you don't want to do that. All right, so back to the water. Then you're going to add a tablespoon of baking soda. Now, what I love about baking soda for this is that it provides that mild abrasion. So I want you to think about grape like your beautiful face, and then I want you to think about the baking soda like a very expensive, fancy K-Beauty exfoliant that you're using. And you can kind of use your hands and just massage the grapes a little bit, get that baking soda in there, and what you will notice, like leave one grape out, oops, and then clean your grapes, and then compare the clean grape to the dirty grape, and the difference is phenomenal. So you want to do that, and then let the grapes sit for about 10 minutes after you've scrubbed them. Following that, you're going to rinse them in a colander a few times just to get rid of that baking soda residue. Then you're going to dry them in a waffle weave towel. In at number 3 is the Pizza Hut special, kale. And grouped in with kale is collard greens and mustard greens. So let me tell you about the Pizza Hut thing real quick. Prior to 2013, the biggest purchaser of kale in the United States was Pizza Hut. Because if you ever went to their buffets, they were littered with kale, because kale made everything look so classy, but no one would eat it, of course. Disgusting. And then I'm sure one day a vegan went to Pizza Hut, probably my mom, and threw a salad together. Anyway, so when you're taking care of your kale, collard greens, or mustard greens, the first thing you want to do is trim the bottoms. That's because when farmers be farming, the pesticides are right there at the bottom. So you do want to trim that off to get rid of it. The next thing you want to do is soak the entire bunch in cold water. So you're gonna need a nice big bowl to do this. Just fill it with cold water, let it soak. You can use your hands again to sort of create some manual scrubbing action. Now, if you notice that your greens have quite a bit of a white coating on it, like I'm noticing with this one, you can use the baking soda method as well, kind of sprinkle it on and use that to scrub. But again, I'm just flagging, you might get a bit of a salty aftertaste, so you do want to make sure that you're rinsing very well afterward. Now, once this has soaked for about 10 minutes or so after your little hand scrub, then you want to rinse very well under cold water without a colander or anything. This allows everything to free flow into the sink. Following that, you're going to dry it in a large towel, and then you're going to consume. At number 2, we have spinach. And I have to tell you a little freaky story about spinach. According to that study done by the EWG, spinach had a special award, and that was that it had twice the amount of pesticide residue by weight, higher than any other fruit and vegetable. So the way to take care of that, first and foremost, is to trim the stems. Again, goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where all of the pesticides tend to congregate. The next thing you're gonna do is take a bowl, fill it with cold water, and throw this in. You're going to use your hands again to kind of rub them together to try and shake off any of the dirt or residue that is hanging out on the spinach. Then you're gonna let it sit for about 10 minutes. Following that, you're gonna have another bowl filled with cold water. You're gonna dunk the spinach in there to rinse it off. Now, this is really annoying, but this is how it's done. Following that, you're gonna run the bunch of spinach under fresh cold water. This is gonna get rid the final residue, anything that's left behind. Then you're gonna roll it up in a towel, allow it to dry, and consume. And here we are at number 1, ready to hand out a very sad award to the dirtiest produce on the Dirty Dozen list. And in case you haven't guessed it already, it's the strawberry, and everyone loves strawberries, so listen up. When you're ready to eat your strawberries, you want to take out the amount that you want to consume, and you're going to create that same vinegar bath we've been talking about. So it's going to be 4 parts water, 1 part white vinegar. You're going to soak your strawberries for 20 minutes. It must be all of the little holes that frankly look like my cheeks with blackheads and all, that are so absorbent for the pesticides. But regardless of what it is, you really just want to let them soak to get them nice and clean. Once that's done, you're going to take the strawberries out, rinse them under cold water. Again, no vinegar flavor, no residue left behind. Then you're going to dry them in a towel and consume. And here we are right at the top of the Dirty Dozen list. And because you've made it this far, I'm going to share with you a dad joke, a joke that Riley really loves. What happens when a strawberry gets stuck? It gets jammed. All right, we've done a lot of talking about pesticides and bacteria and coatings on fruits and vegetables, and this might be freaking you out a little, but that is not the intended purpose of this video. In fact, you should be consuming fruits and vegetables all the time, every day, because they are amazing for you. What's important is making sure that they are clean so that they are safe for your consumption. And that brings me to this week's comment question, which is, what is your least favorite fruit or vegetable? What is so horrifying, so disgusting, that if someone puts it in a salad or in a fruit bowl, you're just like, I can't, and you flip up the table and walk away? For me, I already shared with you, it's peppers. I find this an offensive smell and flavor. I do not understand how people like to eat this. So I want to know what yours is in the comments down below. I mentioned at the top of the video that I would share with you about the new Clean My Space memberships program. It is a way for you to help show your support to the Clean My Space channel. Now, if you are not a member, that's totally fine. You will always have access to the Clean My Space channel and all of the amazing stuff that we do. This is just there for you to show your support in case you want to, and there are some really cool perks that come along with membership. You can learn more about it by clicking down below. There's also a join button. Since you keep your produce in your fridge, if you want to learn how to clean out your fridge, I've got a video over here for you to check out. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to the Clean My Space channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.